Bill, you've done a lot of work on youth homelessness in particular. Why do some young people become homeless?
Well, I mean, if you talk to young people about their experiences, everyone has their own story. Um, there's very unique experiences, but if you look at, large numbers of homeless people, and then you look at some of the trends or the commonalities that young people experience, these are the ones that often come up, most times. One would be family conflict. That's probably the most important one. Oftentimes, when young people find themselves homeless, they've experienced, a variety of forms of family conflict. Oftentimes, young people are abused physically, emotionally, sexually, and this, of course, is noted in data that's been around now since the mid 1990s. And we're looking at most surveys that look at talk to homeless young people, whether they be self-report surveys or face-to-face interviews. Note that roughly half of young people who are accessing services for homeless youth have had some experience with the child protection system. So that's really important. If you look at the Canadian average, it's probably less than 1% for kids, young people who are homeless. And we're usually talking about ages of 16 to 24. And that's usually because if a young person is younger than 16, they should be under the guidance, so to speak, of child protection services. And if they're over the age of 24, they often fall into the adult system. So we're usually talking about 16 to 24. So that's a key thing, is that a lot of them have experienced neglect in their younger years. And also a lot of them are certainly in the LGBTQ plus community. Estimates vary, but if you look at things overall, roughly 30% fall into that category. And of course, that is a statistic much greater than the general population. So they're certainly overrepresented in that category. Back to child protection, oftentimes, the system, at least in Ontario, has changed over the last 3 or 4 years. But prior to, I think, 2018, if you were 16 years of age, you could sort of age out of child protection. Foster parents would no longer be able to collect income from the government to support you. So you were kind of on your own if you didn't have any other place to go. Now the age has been increased to 18, 17 and 18-year-olds, or 16 and 17-year-olds now can apply for different funding formulas to get access and support from the government. But before that, once you were 16, often these kids were on the street because they had nowhere to go. So that hopefully, that has changed, good thing. Some people are advocating for the number to actually go to 21. I'm saying that 18 is still too young for young people to be on their own. So we'll see, but hopefully the age will increase. So those are some of the common factors that lead to youth homelessness. Adult homelessness, usually you're talking about things of loss of employment, maybe alcohol and drug problems, mental health problems, these kinds of things. They're not rare for youth, but certainly I think the way in which young people experience homelessness is different than how adults experience homelessness. I think students should be aware of these differences.